Might will cease interjecting. The Minister for Social Services has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member opposite for her question. And member, the question's got this very sharp ideological edge, and having inherited this portfolio, I don't see much ideology. I see practical layers of administrative problems. So here's where we are, member, as you, I think, deep down well know. 35% of the national budget goes on welfare. The DSS budget is $154 billion a year. The income tax we bring in is $196 billion a year. 80% of all income tax goes straight to the welfare budget.
Member for Moreton will cease interjecting. And of course it's been
growing very rapidly over time, as you know, because you were the steward of that rapid growth. So what we look at when we have the
the member for Jagga Jagga will cease interjecting.
What we look at when we look at this portfolio is very rapid growth over time. A decade ago, the portfolio had $83 billion worth of expenditure.
Member for
Today,
McMahon.
$154 billion worth of expenditure. And in 25-26, that will rise to $277
The member for Sydney will cease interjecting.
Worth of expenditure. The difficulty is that you pretend that there is no need for expenditure restraint. None. What you have said, member, and of course what everyone here has to realise—
The Minister will resume his seat. The Minister will resume his seat. The member for Herbert will cease interjecting. The member for McMahon will cease interjecting. The member for McMahon will cease interjecting. He's denying the member for Hotham the call. Member for Gippsland. The member for Hotham on a point of order.
Speaker, my point of order is on relevance. I accept the need for the minister to provide some context, but he's gone for a full minute and a half now without mentioning the family tax benefit.
The member for Hotham will resume her seat.
To
the minister is in order. I call the Minister for Social Services. Just before, I'll just ask the minister to resume his seat for a second. The level of interjections has been loud. I have asked the member for Jagga Jagga, the member for Moreton and the member for Sydney to cease interjecting on 2 or 3 occasions. I remind them of that and I call the minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And the member's quite right. I should get to the point of the family tax benefits. Look, the family tax benefits and the changes that we have proposed and are before the parliament that you are opposing are designed to pay for the childcare package that the Treasurer, when he was the minister, brought in. A childcare package that you support, and indeed, when pressed, member, when
the
pressed
minister,
on radio,
the minister will resume his seat. The minister will resume his seat. The member for Griffith will cease interjecting. The member for Adelaide will cease interjecting. Member for Lyons. Member for Watson has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. Could you ask the minister to speak through the chair and address his remarks through the chair?
Yes.
At the moment,
the member for Watson will resume his seat. The member for Watson. The member for Griffith will cease interjecting. The minister has the call. He'll address members by their correct titles, as he knows. The member for Herbert will cease interjecting.
So, Mr Speaker, the family tax benefit changes that are proposed are linked to and will pay for the very good childcare measures that the Treasurer introduced. The member for Sydney is now warned. The member for Jagga Jagga was asked about this very question. A journalist said to her, "You have to pay for the childcare changes somehow, don't you?"
Member for Griffith is warned.
Yes, you have to pay for them somehow. And in fact, we would agree with her that they do have to be paid for somehow. So the suggestion that we have before the parliament is that they should be changed by modest changes to the family tax benefit system, and in fact changes that do indeed encourage greater workforce participation. Family tax benefits at the moment, going back to the point of that welfare bill, are $20 billion a year of taxpayers' money going to families. We think a modest change to pay for the childcare package is a very good idea. But as the member for Jagga Jagga said, the financial reality is that that change to childcare, which is very positive, which you seem to support, has to be paid for somehow.
The minister's time has expired.